Hi, Faith Church. Thanks for tuning into this house to house. Just finished delivering giant cucumbers to houses around the Pocket area, and many of those will go to other places outside of the Pocket as well for youth group tonight, where one of our students is going to be showing us how to cook or prepare cucumber salad. And it's not something I would have thought of, but as I started doing some research, I put together a little quiz about cucumbers. I found a lot of things that I didn't know about cucumbers, and they're incredibly healthy, and they have properties that can defog a mirror and can help with sunburn and all of these great qualities, as well as being filled with all these fantastic vitamins. Who would have known? I don't want to forget that I delivered cucumbers to houses. And as strange as that sounds, there have been some moments throughout this time, 2020. I know now it's 2021, but during this pandemic that we'd like to forget, but I would like to suggest that we don't actually forget it. And I think as we look at 2 Corinthians in our reading this week, we find an apostle, Paul, who has been through so much. And Paul doesn't ignore the fact that he's been through these things. In fact, he tells the Corinthian church about the struggles. He reminds them. In 2 Corinthians 6, he says, rather, as servants of God, we commend ourselves in every way, in great endurance, in troubles, in hardships and distresses, in beatings, imprisonments, and riots, in hard work, sleepless nights, and hunger, in purity and understanding, patience and kindness, in the Holy Spirit and in sincere love. He's really appealing to not only the struggles, but also the gifts that even within those struggles, there's been in the way that they've cared for and loved one another. And I think Paul would be the first to say that even because of the persecutions and the troubles that he's faced, as well as his partners in ministry, that he has because of that a special message of grace to offer to the church. And I think we have a special message of grace as Christians to offer to the world, especially during this time when they're not hearing this special message from Christians in the news and as they watch messages that are being portrayed about those who follow Christ. There's in Greek mythology, there's the Greek god Chiron, and who was said to be the wisest of all the centaurs. And it was believed within this ancient Greek mythology that he was wounded by an arrow that was tipped with blood from the Hydra. And because he was wounded in this way, he was wounded with a wound that would not heal. And because of that, and because he was still an immortal God, he went throughout the earth healing others because of his woundedness. And so this later became a star, according to the myth, that represented this wounded healer in theology. Even Plato later kind of picked up this theme, and he said that the most skillful physicians, the most skillful doctors, are the ones who have suffered from illness. And I wonder if we have an opportunity to be wounded in this way, maybe even wounds that will not completely heal because of the year that we spent together, each of us in our own way, dealing with loss and mental illness and financial hardships and difficulties with relationships and friendships, both in our homes and online. What if we use those to be wounded healers in the way that Paul was? And I think that we've already seen glimpses of how that can happen. But I think first we have to remember 2020 together. In the text that went with this link, I encourage people to send me photos that you have from this year of all kinds, of worshiping in your home and meeting with people outside, and some photos from perhaps before the pandemic. Send those to me, as we still want to put together a slideshow to remember this year, to remember that we're God's people, wounded healers for this year that is coming up. Thanks for tuning in, and I encourage you to to join me in remembering 2020 together. We'll show that slideshow, hopefully if we get enough photos at the end of the month when we have our congregational meeting. Have a great day and continue having a great and happy new year.